On Capitol Hill today, Vice President Mike Pence meets with 3 representatives to talk about China's disgraceful human rights record. It's a cause Representative Chris Smith of New Jersey has been championing for years, and he invited me to his office earlier today to discuss the issue. You were the author of the Congressional Executive Commission on China, and at the time this report came out in October, you said that China's population control was the worst in history. You're meeting with the Vice President today to talk about human rights in China, and what are you going to say to him?
Well, that the Trump administration must have a robust policy of calling out the Chinese dictatorship's deplorable human rights record in a number of categories. The crackdown on religious believers, including the Catholic Church, the underground Catholic Church, that I've met with many of the leadership over the years, including Bishop Xu in 1994. Here's a bishop who spent 40 years being tortured. We think he may be deceased now. Nobody knows for sure. And when I met him in 1994, he had nothing but love, even for those who were persecuting him. We need a much more robust policy on human rights.
And what does that mean? What will you specifically recommend to the Vice President?
First and foremost, that the President and the Vice President and all aspects of the administration, no matter what the department is, but particularly the Foreign Affairs, the department, need to speak out on these issues in an informed way, an aggressive way, diplomatic, of course, and then there needs to be linkages to other policies. You know, China has a deplorable human rights record in the area of human trafficking. I wrote the laws for combating human trafficking. One of them is called the Trafficking Victims Protection Act. China should be a Tier 3 egregious violator designated country,
and instead
with sanctions. Instead, under Obama, they artificially inflated and gave China a passing grade, as they did for 15 other countries, because of political issues, not the human rights conditions on the ground. So they need to designate China as a Tier 3 country and sanction it. On religious freedom, they're already a country of particular concern pursuant to the International Religious Freedom Act. They need to be sanctioned, and there's 18 different sanctions prescribed in U.S. law to hold China to account for its horrific mistreatment of religious believers.
You have said that there's a direct link between China's domestic human rights problem and the security and prosperity of the United States. What is that connection?
The connection is in the goods that are exported to the U.S. Many of them are made by gulag labor. They're made by slave-like conditions where people get very, very small amounts of wages, no occupational and safety protections. The labor rights abuses in China are among the worst in the world. Then you have situations like the 1 and now 2 child per couple policy, which is coercion, telling women that the children that they carry are illegal and must be aborted by the state. There have been about 400 forced abortions and forced sterilizations since 1979. There's no comparison on the face of the earth in all of human history of such crimes against gender, against women and babies, as we've seen in China.
This is obviously something that you are extremely passionate about. We thank you for talking to us about it, Representative Chris Smith of New Jersey.
Lauren, thank you very much.